Yeah.
कमल कोमल गर्भगौरी लक्ष्मी दशकटं नमतां शरणं लक्ष्मी Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kalpana. Before we move on, a brief introduction about our university. Mahatma Gandhi University is upgraded as a university from a PG center in the year 2007 to cater the academic needs of remote students and backward regions. Ever since the inception, the university is committed to the cause and promotion of academic excellence. Our university offers multiple range of programs in arts, humanities, sciences, social sciences, engineering and technology, commerce, and business management. There are more than 120 colleges which are affiliated to our university. We have a beautiful green campus which is spread over 250 acres in Ellarediguda of Nalgonda in the state of Telangana. Moving to the Department of Management Studies, we have the best, distinguished, young, and vibrant academicians having a vast experience in various fields that enable us to impart practical knowledge to the student community. We constantly strive to transform the students into effective managers, researchers, teachers, entrepreneurs, and to be successful leaders. We run with the motto to imbibe ethics and human values among young managers. The department has been running postgraduate programs and the doctoral program. We offer multiple courses, that is MBA and MBA Tourism and Travel Management, which is also a 2-year course, and a 5-year integrated MBA course. Now, I would like to introduce our program coordinator, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Midyala, who served in multiple academic and administrative positions as principal, director of admissions, director, college development council, and presently controller of examinations. And sir has successfully completed one UGC major research project. I request you, sir, to introduce about the program.
Good morning. The president of today's inaugural session, Dr. Srilakshmi Murthy Garu, Principal, University College of Commerce and Business Management, Mahatma Gandhi University, and also the FDP Director. The chief guest of inaugural session, my guru, Professor V. Shekhar sir, former head, Department of Business Management, former chairman, Board of Studies, former dean, Faculty of Management, former principal, University College of Commerce and Business Management, Usma University, and a renowned speaker in the field of management, adjunct faculty at Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok, and a persona in the field of management, was a speaker in more than 25 countries on different occasions. The other distinguished guest, the speaker of the inaugural session, the Guru of Gurus, Professor A. Vidyareddy sir, who is also the former HOD, Chairman Board of Studies, former Dean, and presently the Director at Nalsara University, a man with vivid knowledge. The Honorable Registrar of Mahatma Gandhi University, Professor M. Yadgiri sir, the Head of the Department, Dr. J. Suresh Reddy Garu, Chairman Board of Studies, Dr. Alwala Ravi sir, former Board of Studies, Chairman and former Principal, University College of Commerce and Business Management, Dr. B. Sarita Madam, Dr. Venkatramana Reddy, Dr. Sweta, Dr. Lakshmi Vrabha, Dr. Sabina Herald, Dr. A. Pravalika, Dr. M. V. Anuradha, Mr. John Paul, Dr. Swapna, Dr. Jayaprakash Narayana, Ms. Jyoti, Dr. Bhikshamaya, Dr. Ramesh, Dr. M. Venkatachari, and dear participants, good morning one and all. Indeed, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this 5-day faculty development program on data analysis using SPSS. We are overwhelmed with happiness on the response received by the interested participants. Though we have received the maximum count admissible by Atal Academy within first 3 days of uploading the brochure on Atal website, but based upon the requests received from different participants from different corners of India, we have once again requested Atal Academy to enable us to add the participants. We thank Atal Academy for keeping confidence on us and enabling us to make this provision. I would like to thank Atal Academy once again for having given 2 faculty development programs to our department, which is not given to even IITs, NITs, and IIMs. Thank you, AICTE, for keeping confidence on us. There was a great pressure on us in shortlisting the participants, and for doing so, we have shared a Google form, and based on the data submitted by them, we have approved the candidates. Thus, we feel all the participants are seriously interested in the subject, rather looking for certificates. At the same time, there was lots of pressure on us to make the program a qualitative one. Luckily, we have good experts in the domain to deliver their talk on the contents shared with you. We wish at the end of the program, you all will get good knowledge in the field and start using SPSS and thus doing qualitative research and ultimately good publications. Let me share the outline of the program. We will be starting the FDP, the concepts of research and fundamentals of statistics, and its right use in research and usage of SPSS and its tool in analyzing the data and drawing inferences from the results. At the end, the elsewhere South Asian head will address you on the aspects related to publication in a good journal. Thus, this FDP not just focuses on SPSS software, but goes from the fundamentals of research to publishing in a good journal. Wish the participants will rightly use this program and seriously commit for acquiring knowledge. Best wishes to each and every participant. Happy learning. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, I would like to introduce our program director, Dr. M. Srilakshmi Garu, Principal, University College of Commerce and Business Management. Madam has held many positions such as Chairman Board of Studies, Head of the Department of Management Studies, Director Internal Quality Assurance Cell, and Chairperson Women Protection Cell. I request Madam to address the participants. Dr. Srilakshmi ma'am, I request you please to address the participants.
Hello.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the delay. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the coordinator for organizing such a wonderful program, quite useful program for nowadays. So, first, I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of Department of Management Studies Mahatma Gandhi University for giving opportunity for our department to organize two such wonderful programs for the AICTE Training and Leadership Development Programs, Atal Academy. Director, Atal Academy, and Deputy Director, Atal Academy, as well as Professor Vidyadhar Reddy sir, Professor Shekhar sir. I'm very happy that you're all taking part in today's program. The FDP program is meant for 5 days, which begins from today, that is 5th October to 9th October, under the supervision of, under the coordinator, Dr. Miryala. At the outset, I would like to thank Mahatma Gandhi University Vice Chancellor, Registrar Sir, for continuous encouragement of our department to organize such wonderful programs. The resource persons for today's talk, as well as for the 5 days program, I welcome all of you for taking part in this and make it a grand success of the program. Finally, I would like to welcome all the participants, including our co-faculty members of department, as well as scholars of Mahatma Gandhi University, and other scholars and other faculty members. So this program will enhance your knowledge as well as analytical capability for the research, and this will be helpful for you to proceed for further in research in the social sciences as well as management discipline. Atal Academy, the vision and mission, it is very wonderful, and I would like to extend my gratitude not only for the Atal Academy, even for the AICTE for helping in the pandemic situation, for making this such wonderful programs, more than 200 to 300 FDP programs. So with this brief introduction, I welcome all the participants, resource persons, faculty members, technical persons, coordinator, everyone to this particular program, and take the inputs as much as possible, try to coordinate with the members of the group. With this brief introduction at the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for organizing this event, and all the best for the future endeavor. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to introduce our Registrar of Mahatma Gandhi University, Professor M. Yadagiri Garu. He is the Dean of Faculty of Commerce and Management, Telangana University. Sir has around 3 decades of teaching experience. His area of specialization is accounting and finance. 6 doctoral degrees are awarded under his guidance. Sir has published more than 70 research articles and published 47 books to his credit. Sir is even editor and member of editorial board in many journals. Sir is even a member of NAAC peer team to assess and accredit higher education institutions. I request Sir to address the participants.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
A very good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Faculty Development Program Director, Dr. Sri Lakshmi Garu, and Coordinator, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Miryala Garu, and coordinating team members in the Department of Business Management, Mahatma Gandhi University, and today's guests, the renowned personalities and eminent teachers. Both are the stalwarts in the field of business management. Professor V. Shekhar Garu and Professor V. Vidyadhar Reddy Garu. We are very fortunate to have such a great personalities in this FDP program inaugural session. At the outset, I congratulate the coordinator as well as all the participants who are actively involving in this faculty development program on data analysis using SPSS. Dear friends, we know that the faculty development program facilitates to upgradation of knowledge, skill, and intends to provide opportunities to teachers. As you know, teacher is a powerful person to mold the character and personality of the student. Teaching is an art and science. Teaching is a passion of good teachers. A good teacher is like a candle, it consumes itself to light the way for others. Therefore, we the teachers should upgrade ourselves. If a teacher upgrades himself, he can be able to deliver the updated information to his students. There is a need to upgrade ourselves because of the drastic changes have been taking place in the day-to-day academic activities. Whatever today we find is a updated, immediately within no time it will become a outdated. Such a type of the radical changes have been taking place in the academic activities. Therefore, so we have to upgrade ourselves by attending the different types of faculty development programs. The teacher is a continuous learner. We can learn from the birth to death. Every moment of human life, so it is an opportunity to learn the new things. In the words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, learning gives creativity. Creativity leads thinking. Thinking provides knowledge. Knowledge makes you as a great teacher. So knowledge is an ocean. Whatever we acquired so far, it is a drop of the ocean only. We have to face a number of challenges in our day-to-day life. Presently, we are facing and suffering with the corona pandemic challenge. Coronavirus pandemic, a bigger opportunity than a threat for India. It is an opportunity to do things we could not do before. Countries have gone into a complete lockdown for a long period. In the words of our Honorable Prime Minister, it is an opportunity to find the new ways and innovations. So my friends, it is a rare opportunity to learn the new things and to update ourselves. This faculty development program, data analysis using SPSS, is very relevant and very much useful to the teachers who are actively involving in the research. I hope that this program will give a fruitful results and very much helpful to update yourself, and in turn the student community will benefit from this program indirectly also. So I wish you all the best. Once again, I thank the organizers for organizing this type of a wonderful program, which is very much useful to enhance their teaching ability. So in the field of data analysis. So thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, I invite the chief guest of the program, Professor V. Shekhar Garu. Before sir starts, I would like to give a brief introduction about Professor Shekhar sir. Sir has more than 3 decades of teaching and industrial experience. Sir has many awards to his credit. One among is the Best Teacher Award given by the Government of Andhra Pradesh. Sir is a visiting professor to many universities in India and overseas. Sir is a visiting professor at Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. Sir has served in many positions like Principal, College of Commerce and Business Management, Dean, Faculty of Management of Osmania University. Sir is an editorial member of many prime journals. Under his guidance, 25 doctoral degrees have been awarded. Sir has completed 5 major research projects. Sir, it's our privilege to have you here. I request Sir to address the participants. Professor Shekhar sir.
Sir, kindly unmute, sir.
A very good morning to all of you. Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning. This is Professor Shekhar. Yeah, at the outset, I congratulate the organizing team of this webinar and FDP on data analysis using SPSS of the Department of Business Management, Mahatma Gandhi University. I wish the program all the best because due to prior commitment with Madurai Kamaraj University, I have to sign off. And I am very happy to see the faces of all the participants, almost all of them whom I know. And I wish the program all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion today. We owe you a special vote of thanks for being here today. Thank you, sir. Before proceeding to the technical session, I would like to thank Dean, Faculty of Management, Chairman, Board of Studies, Head of the Department, and all the faculty members of the department for their constant support and encouragement in bringing out this program. I wish all the participants to get loaded with knowledge of statistics in social science research and to build competencies in selection of statistical techniques and in the SPSS software. I wish you all a happy 5-day knowledge gaining and competency building journey. Now, we'll proceed to the first session of the day on Conceptual Framework on Research, Review of Literature, Referencing and Citation Style by Professor A. Vidyadhar Reddy Garu. It's my privilege to invite Professor Vidyadhar Reddy Garu, Director, Department of Management Studies, Nalsa University of Law. Sir has held many administrative positions as Head of the Department, Dean Faculty of Management, Chairman Board of Studies, Department of Business Management, Osmania University, and also Chairman Board of Studies at Nalsa University. Sir has designed courses for MBA and MBA Technology Management. 58 doctoral degrees have been awarded under his guidance till now, and it's still counting. Sir has published around 70 research articles and published many books. Sir has visited many countries and presented around 30 papers internationally, and there are many more in India. Sir is an editorial member of many prime journals. Sir, it's a privilege to hear you today. Professor Vidyadhar Reddy Garu.
Thank you very much. Very elaborate introduction of me.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to all of you, sirs. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Arvind Kumar Garu, IAS, Mahatma Gandhi University, Professor M. Yadagiri Garu, Registrar, Mahatma Gandhi University, and Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Alwala, Dr. Miriala, Dr. Suresh D, Sweta, Sarita, Ramana Reddy, and many others. It is very difficult for me to recall all the names. Very familiar, all of you, and please forgive me, because it takes away a lot of time. Though you are all close to me, I may not be pronouncing your names, each and everybody's name. Please forgive me for not citing your names. And Professor Shekhar, my colleague, and all other colleagues of Mahatma Gandhi University. Hello? Chester. So, all other colleagues of Mahatma Gandhi University and neighboring universities and colleges and faculty from different institutions across India. I'm really feeling privileged, proud to be invited to talk to all of my colleagues. You are learned colleagues of mine. So I don't know what to speak today, because you all engage yourself in the teaching, research, consultancy, and so on and so forth. It's not an easy walk to address all of you. Today morning only, I was feeling, while doing little bit exercise for myself in the morning, I was looking into the sky. Sky is so vast, you know, so vast, like even our ocean itself is a very vast, and ocean is nothing in the sky. Sky is also like a big ocean, you know, infinite ocean. In that infinite ocean, yeah. Oh no, Chester. Yeah. I'm sorry. Am I visible? No. Am I? Yeah. Okay. Right. I think I'm visible. So it's a vast, infinite ocean, and you see, and I was getting a feeling that I was a microcosm in that big, vast ocean, you know. Very, very difficult. And how do I swim across that infinite ocean of this space in which you are all like planets? I was feeling like a bacteria, when bacteria is the biggest thing in the ocean when you look at the size of that infinite vast space. So why I'm citing this is, research is like a ocean. What do we speak? What do I speak with about the research? It requires a lot of time for all of us to dwell upon, and each and every smallest component has got that very, very big oceans of knowledge. And before I embark upon this, I wish to really thank Atal, AICTE, for giving an opportunity to Mahatma Gandhi for conducting this program. And Dr. Sri Lakshmi and Alwala and Dr. Miriala have done a marvelous job in selecting this project. Of course, it's a very good topic. Learning the research through SPSS. That is, analyzing the research data using SPSS. SPS is a technical thing, you know. You have to learn, you have to just master it. The way you have done the typing. Today's generation does not know about the typing. Earlier, people used to go for training for typing. 3 months, 6 months, lower, higher, and so on and so forth. Same is the case with SPSS or any other software. You have to practice it. You have to experiment it. Manually, it consumes a lot of time for analysis. Gone were the olden days when we had done our research using small, calculators. The simple data analysis was also the biggest problem for my generation of the researchers. Because we wanted to calculate using the calculator the mean, median, mode, skew, and so many parameters and statistical analysis manually we have to do. And the examiner also cannot check anything. He had to admit, he had to accept the results. Because there was no mechanism to check it. Today, the world is moving towards the transparency, accountability. I can as well ask you to send your data analysis tables, your SPSS tables. Ravi? Yeah. Am I clear now? Yeah. So, I can as well check the data, precision, accuracy, manipulation. So that is the advantage. So SPSS has become today, though most of us are familiar with it, still it is in the learning mode only, many people, because we are worried about the, the application, the quantitative research. Why quantitative research? Whatever the measurement we do, if it is not measurably with any measurement rod, without using any quantitatives, it will be miserable. The data has to be measurable. The results have to be measured. It should be expressed in terms of quantities, the parameters. Gone were the days, how much beautiful you are, how much fair you are. We can't quantify it. Therefore, we are all going wrong. We are not able to, our readings are not acceptable to them. If you express in terms of values, say you are 10 centimeter beautiful, say you are 10 grams beautiful, perhaps it would be meaningful. So there needs to be a unit of expression with a quantitative measure which can give a better meaning rather than the abstract. Hence, we need to understand the analysis using SPSS. But SPSS does not tell you how to analyze. SPSS only tells you to pick up a particular thing, apply, and click it. It gives the results. But is it measuring properly? Have you used the right analytical use to analyze the data? It doesn't tell you. That intelligence has to be understood by yourself with the subject. Unless you become master in the research, you can't understand. You must know when to apply, what tools to be applied, how do we analyze, what kind of data is required. What type of scaling techniques are required? The measurement of data. Because we are dealing with the social sciences. Unlike the physical sciences, natural sciences, our sciences are inexact in nature. Therefore, it's very difficult to quantify the data. So we must use an appropriate measurement rod to measure it. So what type of measurement scaling is being used by you? There also one must apply the common sense. Baba, a simple question like, did you take your breakfast? Can be responded with yes or no. When it is yes or no type of data available, you may use only the primitive statistics. The non-parametric statistics, which are not powerful statistics. Parametric statistics are powerful in nature. But if you know what type of data is required, what type of analysis you would like to plan, what kind of this analysis is being used for it, if you have got that in your mind, you can reframe the question and response category. It can be responded like this. On a measurement scale of 3-point scale, measurement scale, or 5-point measurement scale, or 7-point measurement scale. So you must be very clear before you choose anything. So why I'm going abruptly into this, because it is a very good topic. Analyzing the data using SPSS or any other statistical software. It gives very good precise results with a lot of precision. Good analysis, good inferences. But it must be supported with your expertise, your understanding, your maturity, your competence with the subject. To use the appropriate statistical tools. For cutting a bread, you need a knife. What kind of knife? It shall not be sharp knife. If it is a sharp knife, it will cut your palm. To cut any other thing, an animal, and hard subject, you need a sharp knife. You cannot use the blunt knife. Both are knives only. So therefore you must understand. A student who had done his PhD in statistics, one day was interviewed in UPSC for All India Services by an expert asking a simple question. A small caselet. Hello? A small caselet. What is that? Baba, expert had told him, you are master of statistics. You are a scholar, pandit of statistics, PhD. I'm a novice. I don't know the spelling of statistics. But I faced a problem. I conducted a small research. The research found that a small case, the number of deaths were more when people walked on the pavements or footpaths than the number of deaths when people walked on the middle of the road. Hope you have understood. The number of deaths were more when people walked on the pavements or footpaths than the number of people when people walked on the middle of the road. When you analyze the case, when you draw the inferences, you must always, your scope is limited to examine based on the facts provided by the case. So based on this analysis, inference, the inference is drawn that it is safer to walk on the middle of the road rather than the pavements. What do you say? What do you understand by that? Therefore, we shall tell all the traffic police and other people, please allow the people to walk on the middle of the roads than on the pavements. This is an experiment which is conducted by our researchers. What is the answer? Baba, please understand. Your analysis is done, your inference is right. But your application of statistical tools was wrong. When 10,000 people were walking on the pavements, 10 people were died. When 20 people walked on the middle of the road, 8 people have died. Please understand, it's not the real numbers which matter. You must understand that logic behind it. Therefore, please, mere learning of SPSS does not help you. What is there? You select the X variable, Y variable, Z variable, and you go to statistics and select a pick a statistics and come on, click on it. And it asks you what kind of information you need. Yeah, I need mean, median, mode, skew, etc., 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 variation, standard deviation, etc., etc. What do you do with that? You must have the logical understanding, scientific understanding. While I was interviewing a girl student who had done her PhD from Singapore National University. She came for one interview. I was asking her, you have done your PhD from one of the top universities in the Asian continent, and what made you to come down here for this? She has done MSc in bioinformatics, biotechnology from Indian University. Then she went to Singapore and she had done her PhD in National University. I was asking her, what was your PhD on it? She was telling casually that she had done a research on what do you call the influence of carbohydrates and rice on the incidence of diabetics. I was asking her, what are the findings? What are the findings? So she gave me the finding. I said, you are a wonderful researcher. Your research is really path-breaking research. Then I was inquiring her research methodology. Because before we learn, before we take any findings and conclusions seriously, you must look at the soundness of the methodology, research methodology. If it is not sound, don't take anything seriously, any finding at all. Therefore, the methodology is most important. So I was asking her, she had studied a comparative study between China and India. So she gave some findings, but on probing of her research, I found a revelation, which I told her. You could have used this revelation to your industry and across the world to prove that your doctorate is worth really. Why? But the incidence of diabetics should be more in China than in India. This is my assumption, as a hypothesis. Why? The hypothesis I have framed based on some kind of logic, some kind of assumptions, some kind of understandings. Across the world, doctors have said, whenever people eat lot of carbohydrates, they are prone for diabetics. And there are other reasons, obesity, etc., etc. Okay? And her selection of the sample was very nice. India and both are the neighbors. Two different races. Indian race is different from Chinese race. Chinese were shorter in height than Indians. Chinese also consume more rice like Indians. Chinese their tummies are bigger than Indian tummies. Chinese are more boozers than Indians. Chinese eat more carbohydrates and more non-vegetarian than Indians. And the incidence of diabetics, sugar is high in India than in China. What a paradox. When you go by the logic, the incidence of diabetes should be more in China than in India, because their height is small, their obesity is big, their weight is big, their circumference of tummy is big, their consumption of liquor is greater, their consumption of non-vegetarian is bigger. All these contribute to the diabetics. So what is the inference you have drawn? The inference is, since they are more consuming more than what we are consuming, the diabetics incidence is less in China than in India. Means carbohydrate is not the principal cause of diabetics. If you reveal to the medical doctors, it will be really a shocking revealing. Many diabetic patients be happy because they are killing their desire to eat rice. They are killing their appetite to eat non-vegetarian. The moment if it is a revelation, if it is a true finding, this does not contribute to the diabetes, they enjoy the life. Therefore, research is so important. Please remember. So my problem now is, I've been straight away allowed to go to the topic because almost much time is lost on this, the research things. Ramesh, how much time I can spend on this?
Sir, another half an hour, sir.
Okay.
So 40 minutes, sir. 40 minutes, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So there is so much, I told the space is infinite. The research canvas is infinite. You are all luminaries of planets in the space. I am like a bacteria. And within 40 minutes, how much I can cover is a very big thing. But as a researcher, please remember, the selection of research problem is most important. And many people do not understand the difference and distinction between research problem and problem. I'm very much worried. People don't understand the research problem. People don't understand the hypothesis testing. People don't test the hypothesis simply without testing it, they will accept and reject. Let their vision will. People don't review the literature. Then what for we are doing? Therefore, the research is very, very in pathetic condition in India. Very recently, UGC has launched guidelines for the excellent research. All of you, please download from the UGC site. Why? There's a greater importance, you know. Research identification of a problem. First of all, area in which you are interested, in which your strengths are there, in which your competence that you have acquired through your qualification. Because in India, without qualification, they say that I'm expert in management. When I ask them, no sir, I have worked for 30 years in a bank as a manager, therefore I'm expert in management. Competence should come from your qualification. Please remember. So the area you must select, identify, then you must select the right problem. Problem that is interested to the industry. Problem that is interesting to the society. Problem that is interesting to the research community. How do you analyze? How do you get that problem? Browse, review, trace out the literature available on that. Is there any literature available in that? You just find out, explore. If there is some research, look into that research. What is the competence of the journal? What is the quality of the journal?
There might be some technical problem. We'll just get back to you. There is some technical problem at the resource person's side. There is a power failure. Sir will be addressing in another 2 minutes. We'll just wait.
Participants, meantime, I request you all to give all your attendance through the link.
Sir. Okay, sir. Just-
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, topic selection is a problem. Need to understand the review of literature. We need to go through the review, the earlier studies. They may help you out to solve the problem. So there is no need to conduct again experiment. If you find a solution in the existing literature, that solution may solve your problem. One second. Is sometimes because I can cite you one good example how the earlier literature solves your problem. Therefore, we need to understand the quality of the journal, quality of the publication. How I will help you. Well, very briefly, because time is very short, and in the meantime, that my power has gone. Therefore, I do not want to take much elaborate this thing. So one fine morning, one of the the hospitals in Hyderabad, a baby, 3-day-old baby was detected with what you call jaundice. So, jaundice. So it's a routine thing. Today by birth, many people are getting the jaundice. If the baby is directed under lighting, the jaundice would regress. The same is done to that baby. First day, doctors have told the parents that don't worry, don't have any panic. It will regress fast. But unfortunately, the bilirubin levels have shot up by next day. Then doctor said, don't worry at all. In 1 or 2 days, it will subside.
We are checking on the technical issue. Please bear.
Hello? You are able to hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the doctor was convincing the patients that parents would become all right. So then fourth day, it has gone from 7 to 8. Then doctor also got worried. And the CEO of that hospital was also a pediatrician who had studied his pediatrics way back 35 years ago. He started telling the new doctor who has been practicing for 15 years that, Baba, if your jaundice rises up to 9 points, the bilirubin levels, then patient becomes serious. You must address the patient very seriously. Why? Because you have to conduct the dialysis. Parents got worried, doctor got worried, all of us have got worried. I was also witnessing the scene. How dialysis can be done for a 7-day-old baby? Then they were asking to take the consent from the parents. As a witness, they also asked my signature. Before they go ahead, I told the doctor on behalf of parents, why don't you check the latest literature available in the market? Then pediatrician said, okay, sir, on your advice, immediately I'll get the latest pediatrics publication. He bought a new book and came. He found one research paper published in UK, in the UK journals of pediatrics. The similar case was examined, and the UK doctors in one of the hospitals have experimented with this. Waited up to the bilirubin levels went up to 13. Patient could not get affected by this level. After 13, the patient became serious, then they had to conduct the dialysis. This was the experiment conducted successfully and published in one of the top class pediatrics journal. He had shown it to me. I got convinced. I was prepared to take the risk. I told the doctor to avoid the dialysis for the 7-day, 8-day-old baby. Based on my assurance, doctor had taken the decision. From 10, it went up to 11. I also got worried. If something goes wrong, parents would also blame. I also feel equally bad with my decision, life and death decision. So therefore, I was worried. The next day, when it went up to 12, fortunately, God smiled on us and it started regressing from 12 onwards. Until that time, the patient did not get affected. The jaundice is such a disease, if it starts regressing, it regresses very fast. And 12 to 11, 10, 9, 9, within 3 days, it has come to almost normal. What had saved that life of a girl, a baby, 7-day-old? It is the review of literature. It is the publication, sound publication. It is a sound methodology. It is a great experiment. Otherwise, doctors would have conducted the dialysis for 7-day-old baby. We don't know what will happen throughout the life, how she had to pass through the life. Today, that girl is doing her MS program in US. Therefore, so much importance is there for the review of literature, the publication of the research. Hence, the past literature has to be reviewed. It has to be cited. It has to be referenced. You cannot copy it. You cannot fabricate it. Don't publish third-class research in third-class journals. Take it up as a very challenging way. Do it with rigorously, scientifically, professionally. Do it with a purpose. Select the problem with a purpose. Yes. Now we are facing a problem like a corona, COVID-19. Is there any research available on this? Yes, some research was available on virus like COVID family. Flu also belongs to the similar family. And when you look at the statistics, every 100 years, this kind of virus attack is repeating. When we look at the 400 years, the evidence was available for every 100 years, a cycle is being reenacted. Similar kind of viruses affecting the society across the world. Lots of people are being died. First of all, is it a virus? Yes, if it's a virus, how it has come? What are the symptoms? Is our literature give us the symptoms of this COVID-19? The literature is not specifying these symptoms of COVID. Then you must select the right sample of COVID patients, observe the symptoms. Even today, there is a controversy going on about the symptoms across the world. Some people are saying it can pass through with the air, with the eyes. But what exactly? Some are saying that it is asymptomatic. Without symptoms, people are showing positive. Can there be any effect without symptoms? Can there be any effect which can cause the effect? Probably the symptoms may not be significant enough to catch them. Notice them. My question is, as a layman, can there be any effect which is affected by a causal variable without any symptoms, which is leading to the serious consequences on the patient? Perhaps our research instruments are not detecting them. So, identify a problem, develop into a research problem. Very recently, as a social scientist, my consent was sought by this Indo-American Cancer Hospital because I am there as a member of ethics committee which looks into the research on the, because it's a cancer hospital, I looks into the cancer hospital. I am there on their ethics committee. Therefore, other doctors like former director of NIMS director Dr. Shantaram and others, they also go through the research before they give this consent, a signal to proceed for conducting the research. As a social scientist, I am representing that. They developed a problem, impact of COVID-19 on cancer patients. Yes, this is a research problem. COVID-19 is not a research problem. Corona is not a research problem. Effect of COVID-19 on children is a research problem. Effect of COVID-19 senior citizens is a research problem. I have seen many theses are being awarded without a clear articulation of the research problem. So therefore, it's very important to articulate a research problem. When a problem is articulated, you must be able to develop some questions, research questions. Yes, what is COVID-19? Is it a bacteria? Is it caused by virus? Of which family? What are the symptoms of COVID-19? What are the effects of COVID-19? What are the problems that are faced by COVID-19 patients? These are the research questions which would address your research problem. Based on the research questions, based on the existing gaps in the existing literature, note the gaps. Note down. With the help of the research questions, in the wake of the gaps noticed, then frame your objectives. Define your objectives of the study. All the objectives put together explain the problem of your research. So that is how objectives flow from your research questions. People must remember, objectives are measurable, definable, quantifiable. And each objective must be how many variables explain each objective. How many variables explain each objective? What are those variables? Are they dependent variables? Are they independent variables? What type of variables they are? Having identified, articulated, defined the variables that would explain the objectives, translate them to hypothesis. Hypothesis is a conjecture, a testable assumption, a measurable assumption. So, you formulate your assumption, formulate your hypothesis. COVID-19 transmits through air to the patients. You test it. You must have seen the recent videos on the death of S.P. Balasubramaniam, the famous singer. What type of mistakes? The mistake was he had removed the mask. When he had removed the mask, he was susceptible for the attack of the saliva that comes out of all others. COVID affected people, if there are any. His saliva also sprinkles upon others. It was a closed room. It was a congregation. And all of them got affected. Entire room was affected. Almost 30-40 members were there. Not even one single respondent unit was left out. Everybody was affected with COVID. You understand how the transmission is taking place, how it is diffusing. What is the vulnerability of this diffusion? And fortunately, only one person died, who is above 70 years. Because our hypothesis, our assumption is, senior citizens may not have more immunity, and therefore he could not survive. Another revelation was he died after the test had shown the negative for corona. So how the death had happened? Death did not happen through heart attack. Death did not happen through cancer. Death did not happen through brain attack. Death did happen with the non-functioning of the vital organs. So, effect of corona on various other organs of the viscera or the body. Though the test result was negative, it has affected all the organs and made them defunct. This is what you have to understand. This is what you have to identify the variables. This is what you have to structure them into your hypothesis. These hypotheses have to be tested scientifically. Before testing, the hypothesis have to be translated into structuring into a questionnaire, a meaningful questions, a measurable questions. Before that, you have to validate your questionnaire. You have to find out the reliability of the questionnaire. What extent that is a reliable instrument. What extent it is giving the time and again the same kind of result answers. Are these valid? So therefore, there is so much of interconnectivity between each and every component of the research. You have to take utmost care in developing the questionnaire, the data collection, right sample. You have to examine the effect on children, effect on the middle-aged, effect on the gender, effect on the senior citizens, effect on the other patients who have undergone various other ailments. This is what is called effect of COVID on various people. How it is affecting below 10 years people, how it is affecting above 10 years, how it is affecting whether there is any discrepancy in the results between gender, senior citizens, or nutrition patients, or other patients. So much is there. So structure them, test them based on the measurement rod, measurement data. You have to use the appropriate statistical tools, correlation, regression, and also variance, factor analysis, so on and so forth, many things. Knowing all the subject, essence of the subject, the logic of the subject, then you learn the SPSS. You can come out with the results very fast. You need not spend your energies and intelligence on simple calculations. If a parrot is taught 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, parrot always tells 2 plus 2 is 4. That is what SPS is. So it's an ocean, I'm telling you, it's an ocean. 1 hour is not enough, 1 day is not enough, please, to talk. There are so many things of intricacies of knowledge, intricacies of the research. Every small element needs a lot of time, in my opinion. I have prepared keeping the many interests of the many researchers, the reviewing, citation, referencing, problem formulations, conceptual clarity. Many people were asking, what is the difference between construct, concept, and so on and so forth. So I tried to, tell the people about the various operational, various definitions, various meanings, the various connotations of the research terminology and jargon, and how each one is connected to the quality, validity, reliability, essence, and how so many things. But I'm sorry, I don't have time because next time, if there is any opportunity, I can address on any particular, a small micro component of anything. We can elaborate it much bigger than things. Okay, it's already, I think, 11:10. It's time for me to close the remarks. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk all of you about the fundamentals of the research. I thank Mahatma Gandhi University Registrar and our Dr. Ravi Alwala, Dr. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Mriyala, and all of the faculty and everyone for giving me an opportunity to address all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We couldn't thank you enough on this virtual platform, but we really appreciate your effort for knowledge transfer to the young minds. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I request all the participants to join the inaugural of online Atal FDP by AICTE Training and Learning Academy. All the participants are instructed to join for the program with the YouTube link that is shared. The AICTE inaugural program is scheduled till 1 p.m. and then we'll break for the lunch. The afternoon session starts at 2 p.m. I request all the participants to join 10 minutes before the session. We feel sorry for the technical hiccups, technical issues. We ensure that the problems doesn't get repeated from the afternoon session. I request all the participants to join with the YouTube link that is shared and come back to the same Google Meet link, the same link at 1:50. We'll start the program at 2 o'clock the afternoon session. The YouTube link is shared. I request all the participants to join the Atal FDP inauguration.